Hi there, and welcome to Twist and Flow Wellness Studio. My name is Adeline, and I'll be your guide for our practice today. Today's flow is a slow-paced, hip opening practice meant to stretch it out, move mindfully, and as always, reconnect body and breath. Come on down to the ground, and we'll get started. We're going to begin in our easy pose, a cross-legged seat. If this isn't available to you, you can always extend your legs out long. Find somewhere more comfortable. As always, we'll start with some breath work. Today, we're going to work on our Ujjayi, that ocean breath. Begin by closing down your eyes, feeling into the physical sensations of your body, ground down through your seat, and find a long line from your tailbone all the way up through the crown of your head, sitting up nice and tall here. Go ahead and seal off the lips, breathing in and out through the nose, bringing the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth just behind your front teeth. And with your next inhale, find that straw-like breath, restricting the base of the throat. Exhale, pull the belly button back in towards your spine, really emptying out the lungs. And as you find this slow, steady rhythm here, you'll notice the sound of your breath begins to start to sound like a wave on the ocean rising and falling on the sand. So find that steady rhythm and kind of ease into your breath work here, inhaling in through the nose, a big full breath. Exhale out completely through the nose. And we'll take 6 more just like that, inhaling in, exhaling out. Inhale in, exhale out, inhale in, exhale out, inhale in, exhale out, inhale in, exhale out. And with the end of that exhale, allow your breath to settle back to its natural rhythm, keeping the eyes closed. Just a moment more here, observing if anything has risen to the surface in your mind. Allow yourself to settle in, carving out this time for yourself on the mat. And when you're ready, go ahead and blink your eyes back open to the room around you. From here, we'll uncross the legs, open the heels out wide. We'll start with a wide-legged forward fold. So think about that length in your spine, lifting the low ribs up and away from the hips. Then start to hinge, folding at the hips, walking the hands forward. And as we start, you might stay nice and tented on the fingertips or the palms. And if you're really tight in the hips here, option to grab a set of blocks. Use those to lift the floor up to you, planting the palms. However this fold feels good for you, find somewhere that you can settle into stillness, softening in the knees, tucking the chin in towards the chest, and easing the chest towards the floor a little bit more with each exhale. Maybe closing down the eyes. We'll take 6 full breaths. With your next inhale, start to rise, coming back up to your seat. Turn to face your right leg. If you use those blocks in your folds, take 1, plant it on the inside of your right leg. Start to slide that right arm down the length of your right leg, coming to land on the right forearm, either on that block or the floor, finding what feels good, playing with the height of that block as you start to settle in. Landing on that right forearm, turn your chest open, sending the left fingertips up towards the sky or ceiling. Option to stay right here or start to tip, reach the left fingertips just as a visual towards your right toes. Breathe into your side body here, keeping that left shoulder rolling back in space, opening up your chest. 2 more big full breaths. Good. With your next inhale, we'll rise and we'll switch sides. Move that block if you were using it for support. Reach your left arm out long, coming to land on that left forearm. Inhale, open the chest, right fingertips rise this time. Option to stay right here or tip at that hip. Reach the right fingertips towards the left toes. Soften through your right leg. Right shoulder rolls back, opening up the chest, and soften. Breathe in through the nose. Slow, steady exhale out through the nose. With your next inhale, rise back up to center. Scooch your block off to the side here. With your next inhale, rise back up to center, coming to your seat, and we'll find that wide-legged forward fold one more time. Again, option to use your blocks for support. As you inhale, lift up out of the hips, and then exhale, start to hinge, fold forward, tuck the chin to the chest, and maybe you observe that you've created a little bit more space for yourself to come forward here. Breathing into the hips, into the low back. 4 more slow, steady breaths here. With your next inhale, find that slow roll up to a seat. Take your blocks with you if you were using them. Set them off to the top left edge of your mat. Then start to bend into each of your knees, and we'll turn to face the top edge of our mat, coming to our tabletop pose. As you arrive, stack your wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hip points, toes point straight back in space. We'll start with our cat-cow, using an inhale to drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale to round through, curl tailbone under, drop chin to chest. Inhale to open. Exhale to round through. 3 more on your own pace. Inhaling, find your cow pose. Exhale, round through the spine, cat pose. Move through one final round. And with your inhale, come back to that neutral spine, that tabletop pose. And we'll extend our right leg out long, coming to land on the ball joint of that foot, toes curl under. Find this gentle rock front to back. As you come forward, shoulders come over the fingertips. As you come back, press through that right heel, grounding down through the ball of your foot. Find a gentle rock front and back, choosing whatever pace feels good for you here. And make your way back to stillness and sweep that left foot over that right foot. Make your way back to stillness and sweep your right toes over off the left-hand side of your mat, finding this rainbow of your side body. Push your hips to the right as you turn to look at your right foot, gazing over your left shoulder. Find a full breath in and out. At the end of your exhale, draw your right toes back in, bring that right knee back underneath you, and we'll switch sides. Extend the left leg out long, come to land on the ball joint of that foot. With your exhale, press the hips back, press into your left heel. Inhale to rock forward. Find a few motions like that, rocking front to back. And make your way back to stillness. Sweep, draw that rainbow with the left toes off the right-hand side of your mat. Press through the left heel. Press the hips over to the left, the far edge of your mat, and then turn, gaze towards your left heel, past your right shoulder. A big breath in and out. With the end of that exhale, sweep the left toes back, draw the left knee underneath you, tabletop pose. And from here, we'll work our way into some hip cars. So shift your weight over to your left knee. With an inhale, lift your right knee up parallel, and then draw a big circle with that right knee in, up, and around, hugging your core in, trying to keep your shoulders level with your mat. Take one more circle in this direction, and at the bottom, switch the direction of your circle, drawing with your kneecap as big of a circle as you can, moving slow and with control. Take one more circle here, and with your exhale, drop that right knee to the floor, and we'll switch sides. Shift your weight over to your right knee. Inhale, lift your left knee up parallel, and then start to draw that big circle either direction, hugging the core up and in, lifting up out of the shoulders, squaring those shoulders to your mat. Next time your knee drops down, switch the direction of your circle. And the next time your knee drops down, set your knee back down on the floor, come back to your tabletop pose. Then we'll walk our pinkies out to the edge as we slide our hands forward a bit in space, curl the toes under, send the tailbone up high towards the sky for our first downward facing dog. Spread the fingertips nice and wide. See if you can find a little lift out of the heels of your hands as you rotate your elbow creases in towards center, pressing your chest back in space towards your thighs. Option to find stillness here, or find a big bend into one knee and then the other, paddling out the feet, walking your dog here. With your next exhale, come back to stillness. Root down through your left heel. With an inhale, lift your right heel, three-legged dog. Stay here, pressing your chest back in space. Allow your left shoulder to drop and peer under your right shoulder. Take a big breath in here. With your exhale, start to bend into that right knee. Shift forward, hug your right knee in towards your chest. Then step right pinky toe to right thumb. Walk your left foot back in space to set the left knee down on the floor. Uncurl the left toe, set the top of the left foot on the floor. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot and heel toe that right foot out to the edge of your mat, opening the toes up at about 45 degrees. Making our way into our lizard pose. Maybe you grab your set of blocks. If this is unavailable and your hips are kind of tight and you want to give yourself more space, you can take your blocks at any level, high, medium, or low. Bring the floor up to you. Now, if your hips are feeling tight, I really would recommend you use your blocks. Give yourself some grace here so that you can sink your hips towards the floor. Then finding that big opening in your hips, send your breath there with intention, tucking your chin in towards your chest. Breathe deeply here. Maybe you even close down the eyes. We'll take 6 more breaths. With your next inhale, start to press into the sole of your right foot. start to extend your right leg, shift your hips back in space, sending your hips, your left hip towards your heel. As you straighten that right leg, roll through the heel to peel the toes up towards the sky. Maybe you want to keep your arms reaching out long here. If you'd prefer, you could walk your hands or your blocks closer towards your chest and sink the hips just a bit lower. Maybe you set that hip down on your heel, just an option. If you don't come all the way down, no worries. Finding what feels good and appropriate in your physical body today. Then you could choose to soften into stillness here, or maybe you want to find just a little movement of those right toes back and forth, opening up, stretching through that right hip flexor. Draw the chin to the chest. Find your breath rhythm once more, and we'll settle in 6 breaths right here. With your next inhale, start to rise, roll through that right heel, set the foot back on the floor, and we'll come back the way we came, setting your blocks off to the side if you were using them, planting the hands, curling the left toes under, and we'll send the tailbone up towards the ceiling, step that right foot back, downward facing dog, pressing your chest back towards your thighs, anchoring the heels, even if they're not touching the floor. Think about lengthening out through the backs of your legs. Option again to come to stillness. And in this stillness, maybe you notice how one side feels a little bit different than the other now. Otherwise, you could pedal the feet, big bend into one knee and then the other. Make your way back to stillness if you were moving. Anchor down through the right heel this time. Inhale, send the left heel up high, 3-legged dog. Press your chest back in space. Peer under your left shoulder here. Take a big breath in. And with your exhale, start to shift forward. Bend into that left knee. Hug your knee in towards your chest. Exhale, step left pinky toe to left thumb. Start to walk that right foot back in space to set the right knee down, uncurl the toes. Same thing here. We'll heel toe the left foot out to the edge of our mat as we bring both hands inside that left foot. Option again to grab a block, lift the ground up to you here. Give yourself that space. Or if it's available, you can keep your blocks off to the side, bringing just your hands, your fingertips to the floor here, tucking the chin to the chest, settling your hips down in space. Let gravity do some of the work here as we hold 6 full cycles of breath. With your next inhale, start to extend that left leg as you shift your hips back in space, coming into our half splits or our runner's lunge, rolling the left toes up towards the sky, sinking your hips back in space, dropping that right hip towards the right heel. Option to keep those hands reaching out long in front of you, or slide your hands under your chest. Option to stay lifted, or lower your right hip all the way to your heel. Wherever you end up, finding what feels right in your body. Option to find stillness or find that gentle rock with those left toes side to side. Finding your breath rhythm. With your next inhale, start to rise back up, set the left foot back down on the floor, and we'll come back up to our downward facing dog, curling those right toes under, lift the right leg, and start to press the hips up to step the left foot back. Finding your foundation, grip into all 10 finger pads, press your chest back towards your thighs. Take a big breath in right here. Full exhale out. We're going to make our way into a pigeon pose, shifting our weight over into our left heel. Inhale, right leg rises, three-legged dog. Exhale, shift forward, draw right knee towards right elbow, hold, open the right toes towards the left edge of your mat, and slide that right knee down your forearm to set the right leg on the floor. Walk your left foot back in space to bring the left knee to the ground. Untuck the left toes. Now, if you're finding you have a lot of space between your glute and the mat, go ahead and grab one of your blocks. Slide that underneath your right glute to give yourself a little lift. And then choice to stay lifted on the hands. Breathing into that stretch you're feeling across the top of your right glute. If you think you have a little more space available to you, you could walk down onto the forearms. Pausing here. If you have space still, you can open the elbows, cross the forearms, and bring the forehead to the back of the hands or to the backs of the arms. Maybe you close down your eyes here. We'll take 8 slow breaths, intentionally sending each breath into that big stretch, making sure our left toes are still pointing straight back in space here. Good. With your next inhale, start to lift your chest if you were lowered, coming up onto the hands. Take a pause at the top. Let that settle. And we'll make our way back to our downward dog, curling the left toes under, lifting our hips, send the tailbone up high, and re-find your foundation. Press into all 10 fingertips. Press your chest back in space. And we'll make our way through the other side, shifting our weight over to our right heel. Inhale, left leg rises, three-legged dog. Exhale, shift forward, left knee to left elbow. Open the left toes to the right edge of your mat and set the left leg on the floor. Walk that right foot back in space, setting the right knee down, untucking the right toes. And if you need that lift, a little seat, slide a block underneath your left glute. Option again to stay lifted up on the hands, or maybe you lower to the forearms. Maybe you lower to the forehead, crossing at the arms, setting the head down. Wherever you wind up, use each exhale to soften. See if you can find ease and a little more depth in the posture with each breath out. With your next inhale, start to rise, lifting up onto the hands if you were down on the floor. Take a breath at the top. And we'll come back the way we came, making our way back up into that downward dog. Curling the right toes under. Start to press the hips up towards the ceiling, tucking the toes, grounding down through all 10 fingertips, pressing your chest back in space towards your thighs. If you were using that block, set it off to the side. We're done with that guy for now. And with your next exhale, find a generous bend in your knees. Inhale to look forward and use your next exhale to find baby steps, walking it up, lifting onto your fingertips as you come forward to find forward fold at the top edge of your mat. Start to walk your feet out towards the edges of your mat. Then turn your heels in, toes out. And with your next exhale, we'll find a big bend in the knees. Start to set the hips down in space, finding a yoga squat. Option to roll up onto the toes here and find a little froggy if your heels aren't making it towards the ground. If you need a little more support, you can take your 2 blocks at any height and set them underneath your seat. Give yourself a lift. Make this pose a little more comfortable and accessible to you. Then bring your elbows to the inside of the knees. Hands come to prayer. And we find this press of the knees out with the arms, rolling the shoulders back in space to open up the chest. Take a few cycles of breath here, either in this yogi squat or in your froggy pose, heels off the floor. With your next exhale, release your mudra, your prayer hands. Slide your blocks out from underneath your seat if you were using them, and use your hands behind you to bring yourself to the floor, making enough room to extend your legs out long in front of you. Take a second to roll your shoulders down and away from your ears. Open up your chest, setting your hands at your sides. Long spine from tail to crown here. Then grab onto the back of your right knee, bend into that right leg. Step your right foot over your left knee. Sit up tall, wrap left elbow around right knee. Swim right fingertips behind you for your half Lord of the Fishes twist. As you breathe, use each exhale to journey into your twist, sending your gaze past your right shoulder. Each inhale fills the low belly up with air completely. Each exhale softens you into your pose. With your next exhale, unravel, come back to face front. Extend right leg out long and we'll switch sides. Bend into left leg, step left foot over right knee. Sit up tall to wrap right elbow around left leg and turn to set your left fingertips behind you. Each inhale goes down to your low belly, lengthening out your spine. Each exhale softens you into your pose as you gaze over your left shoulder. With your next exhale, unravel, turn back to face front. Extend your left leg out long. Scoot your hips forward in space. Make enough room for your head behind you and come to lie down. And as you come to the floor, knees bent, feet on the ground, walk your feet together, really together, and open the knees out wide. Letting your knees settle towards the floor, softening into those hips, bringing one hand to the low ribs, one hand to the low belly. Walk your shoulders underneath your heart space. Tuck chin to chest. Start to ease, soften into the mat beneath you, releasing any tension that you might find here. If you're nice and comfortable where you are, you can stay right here in your reclined butterfly, reclined Baddha Konasana, for your Shavasana. Otherwise, you can start to extend one leg out long and then the other, opening the heels about as wide as your hips, letting the toes relax open to either side, and opening your hands off the edges of your mat, palms turn to face the ceiling. Tuck your chin into your chest one last time, lengthening out the spine, and melt your body into the earth beneath you, letting gravity pull you down. relaxing any and all tension, shutting down your eyes softly if you haven't already, bringing your awareness back to your breath here, letting it be your anchor to the present moment as we unwind for the next 2 full minutes. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring that energy, your life force, back through your physical body. And start to wiggle through the fingers and the toes. Let that movement grow, stretching through the hands, the arms, the feet, rolling out the wrists and the ankles. Taking any final stretches that feel good for you here. And as you're ready, bending into one knee, setting the foot on the floor, and then the other. And in your own time, roll onto one side or the other, using that bottom arm's bicep as a rest for your head to come through to your fetal pose. Pausing here, find your breath once more. As you're ready, start to open your eyes, press yourself back up, lifting up into your easy pose, crossing at the legs, grounding down through your seat, finding that big lift out of your spine. Crown rises up towards the sky. Take a moment to thank yourself for making it to your mat today, carving out this time to really sit and be with yourself, feel into your physical body, and connect with your breath, giving yourself some space in your mind. As always, I thank you so much for joining me here. It's always an honor and a pleasure to guide you through our practice. When you're ready, bring your palms together in prayer, Anjali Mudra at your heart center, and we'll take 2 breaths in through the nose to sigh out through the mouth together to close. Inhale in, exhale out. Inhale in, exhale out. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me here, and I hope to see you back on your mat again soon.